let's be real for a second. We've all been sold this picture of what wealth is, right? And it's always loud. You know the deal, the flashy cars, the giant watches, those houses that are basically personal hotels. It's all about making sure everyone sees it.
But here's a thought. What if true wealth, the kind that gives you actual peace of mind, is totally silent? What if it's something you can't see at all?
All right, let's break this down, because this is so important. What we're taught to chase is all the stuff you see on the left, the luxury cars, designer clothes. It's the illusion of wealth. But the reality, that's over on the right. And it's the exact opposite. It's not the money you spend, it's the money you don't spend. It's about unspent money, retained assets, things that quietly grow in the background. And you know what that really buys you? Freedom. Actual personal freedom.
So, does this hit home? Do you ever feel like you're just running on a financial treadmill? Like you're working harder and harder, but that finish line just keeps getting pushed back? Yeah, you're definitely not alone in that feeling. And today, we're going to figure out how to step off that thing for good.
Okay, so the first step is to get really clear on two words we throw around all the time, but they're not the same thing at all. We're talking about being rich versus being wealthy. Seriously, understanding this difference it's the key. It's the absolute first step.
So let's start with rich. Being rich is all about right now. It's about your current income, it's the money you spend, and because of that, it's loud, right? It's visible. You can see it, you can hear it. It's the car, the vacation, the big dinner. It's loud money. Now, being wealthy, that's a whole different game. Wealth is what you don't see. It's the money you haven't converted into stuff yet. It's your investments, your savings, the assets that are quietly working for you in the background. Wealth, my friends, is silent. And this really gets to the heart of the psychology behind it all. The rich mindset, it's all about current income. It's about getting that validation from other people, seeking status. It's a performance. But the wealthy mindset, that's focused on retained assets. It's not about what other people think. It's about your own internal peace. It's quiet, it's invisible, and it's a completely private strategy.
And this leads to a massive paradox. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. Just think about that for a second. The very thing people do to look rich is what prevents them from ever becoming wealthy.
Look, I get it. This is hard. It goes against our basic human wiring. For thousands of years, our survival literally depended on our status in the tribe. We had to show our value. So of course, when we get a little money, our caveman brain starts screaming, "Show everybody! Prove you belong!" Building real wealth means you have to fight that ancient instinct. It's like a quiet little rebellion.
So the big question is, how do you actually fight that instinct? How do you get off that treadmill? Well, it comes down to developing a certain superpower. And honestly, it might be the most important one in all of finance.
You've probably experienced this. It's called the hedonic treadmill. It's this weird human tendency where as soon as our income goes up, our desires and expectations go right up with it. You get a raise, and suddenly your current apartment feels too small. You get a bonus, and suddenly your perfectly fine car just won't do anymore.
Sound familiar? I bet it does. You're running faster and faster, making more money, but somehow you feel like you're in the exact same spot financially. That right there is the trap of the hedonic treadmill.
So what's the escape hatch? How do you get off this thing? It's one simple, powerful, and let's be honest, kind of unpopular word. Enough.
And I mean it when I say enough is a superpower. It's what protects you from financial ruin, from career burnout, and from that toxic, endless cycle of comparing yourself to others. And this isn't about giving up or lacking ambition, not at all. It's about deciding where the goalpost is so you can actually enjoy the game, instead of just moving the post every time you score. It's about making sure your appetite for more doesn't end up eating you alive.
Okay, so this all leads to the big why. If wealth isn't for buying designer clothes and fancy cars, then what on earth is the point of it all? Let's talk about the real prize, the ultimate currency you're actually saving for.
I mean, it's the most important question, isn't it? If you're doing all this work, saving, investing, being disciplined, what are you getting? What are you actually buying with that silent wealth? Well, the answer is something you literally can't put a price tag on.
And here it is. This is the whole point. The single highest dividend money will ever pay you is control over your own time. That's it. It's autonomy. It's freedom.
And what does that feel like in real life? It's the ability to wake up on a Tuesday morning and decide to just not work. It's having the power to leave a toxic job without panicking about bills. It's the freedom to say no to projects or clients you don't want to work with. It's the ultimate security of knowing you are living life completely on your own terms. So here's a little mental tool you can use. The next time you're about to buy something, instead of asking, "How will this make me look?" ask yourself a different question. Is what I'm about to buy worth the amount of future freedom I'm trading for it? That one question right there changes everything.
All right, so let's bring this all together. How do we make this our reality? It really boils down to one final, conscious choice. You have to decide which scorecard you're going to use to measure your life.
You've got two choices. There's the external scorecard, which is dictated by everyone else, your neighbors, Instagram, what you think you're supposed to have. It's a game you can never win, and it's absolutely exhausting. Or you can choose the internal scorecard. This one is based on your values, your peace of mind, your personal definition of enough. It's about focusing on your own game, not constantly looking over your shoulder at what everyone else is doing.
So in the end, it really all boils down to this final thought. True wealth is the gap between your ego and your income. It's not about how big your paycheck is, it's about how much is left over after you've paid the ego tax. The bigger that gap, the wealthier you really are, and that is definitely something worth thinking about.